What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with a late review from last week's episode of Love Marriage Huntsville. And it pretty much just picks up where it left off, with Marcel and Tisha having misplaced amnesia of where they are and how they got to this multimillionaire status, okay? Because Chris is letting Martell know what else was said at dinner when he was like, he makes gold, he owns gold. He's like, man, don't play with me, because Martell did catch a little bit of what Marcel said about how Mel wasn't professional enough to speak at the expo, when it's like, you knew she's a very good public speaker. Even Fred, Martell's business partner, said she spoke last year at the BBC and she spoke very well. So why are you acting as if she don't have the intelligence to speak? Like, that's the whole thing. You see how Marcel changes his tone every time, or changes his reasoning every time he gets questioned as to why he didn't want to pay? Like, you gonna see how many times he changes his reasoning. And basically, you wouldn't have had none of this if it wasn't for me and Mel. Period, point blank. Like, you saw how we were doing hold and hold. We brought you in so you can make good money. And the whole thing was to get you in, let you know how it works, you build your own clientele, and you buy me out. That's been the whole process the entire time. It wasn't supposed to be a partnership. It was supposed to be opening up a company for you. You take over, you make it your own, and I can go back to what I was doing with my wife. Period. That's what it was. I didn't like the fact that when Tisha said she bought out Martell's percentage, she's saying that she took it from the red and made it to the black. It was a brand new company. It was automatically in the red. You didn't have any business in it yet. So please don't play, okay? Like, that was the whole thing about Martell and Chris going back and forth, and that was it. Then we got Tisha. Tisha is at her manager's home helping her daughters pack their first orders, because she got the Mila and Macy hair care line, and now they're packing their first orders. She said that the hair care line had been in the works for the last 5 years. So since the show, but I feel like that's not true, Tisha. You didn't have this idea of having this hair care line for your daughters because you wasn't even leaving the house. You was in the house all the time with the kids. You were drowning in being a housewife. You didn't have anything else to do. That's when Mel brought you out of the attic to let you know how to balance of being a working wife and a mother and all this and that and the third. So this product line just came out. Just keep it above. This was not in the makings of 4 to 5 years, because your babies were babies at that time this was created. Your youngest is about to be 8, which means she was 3 at the time, and your oldest is 11 now, which means she was 7 at the time. So they were babies at this point. So this wasn't something you thought about now. And why is it that we're now seeing you bring this out? But I remembered at Destiny's Madonna event, she had your daughter's nail polish line. Do your daughters still have a polish line? What happened to the polish line? Like, there are so many different things that have been happening behind the scenes on social media of what your daughters have, but we're never seeing the works on the show. Now we're seeing the works on the show, but it still doesn't connect. Either way, and you're trying to teach your daughters how to be entrepreneurs, let them know how it works. Your oldest is only focused on the money. You're letting her know you're not going to see a fast return on your investment just yet. You got to put the work in, okay? Then Marsau come over. At first, when I saw the scene and Marsau was walking in, I thought they were at the apartment, and he said, can I come in? I'm like, why are you asking to come in your own place? Do you not live there? But no, that was her manager's home. And here he comes, barking orders, criticizing and being a drill sergeant as to how their whole station is set up to pack these orders. And it's just like, what is the problem? Let me first say this. When he walks in and she greets him, it don't be a lot of chemistry. It don't be love. It be just side hugs. Like, you don't be happy to see your wife? Are you happy to see your husband? Or are you trying to hold back on how excited you are to see him, but you know he doesn't return that? So you just try to get what you can? Like, I don't understand that, because I'm always excited to see my husband, and he's always excited to see me. We can't keep our hands off each other. Like, that's how in love we are. So if y'all have been together all this time that you keep on bragging, I'm not seeing the connection. And maybe y'all just don't do public display of affection. That's totally fine, but it still comes off like weird that there isn't a lot of chemistry between y'all. But either way, the girls didn't look happy to see their daddy. I'm sorry, they didn't look happy at all. He comes in And he immediately starts to dictate on how the setup is. He's complaining about what's going on here. Why is this here? This is messy. This is unorganized. I said, nigga, get the fuck out of here. First, you don't have respect of the product business. You made it seem as if Courtney was less of a man because he's in the product business, but he's making more money than you. And you told Mel you don't respect it. So how is it you coming in dictating on how the setup is unorganized? It's not right. Y'all gotta do better. This don't make no sense. Who's doing this? Get the fuck out. While wearing a black shirt that you say you don't have respect in. Get the fuck out. You're not going to come in here and try to barge and dictate on how things should be if you're not going to work. Because I feel like you could be doing this yourself, but you don't feel like this is worth your time. But yet you want to make it where it's bad for them or how they're working. They're doing what they can. And they're babies. They're your daughters. How you said in a confessional, this is a personal, it's business. You separating how you are with your kids and your wife to be all sturdy and strict, or how it's all about business, you're going to have to fix that. Because as soon as your girls get older, they're going to treat you like a business. They're going to give you hard, strict tone. You're going to be wanting that sweetness. They're going to give it to you because you don't give that to them. So Tisha was like, we're doing this, they're doing that. We got it going. It's just kind of like, you're going to have to get out of my face with this shit. Because it's annoying. And I also want Tisha, if she's promoting the hairline, I want her to explain what the products are. Is it a hair milk, an oral serum, a conditioner? What are the products? Because the fact that we don't even see the cover of the products says a lot. We just see the back with all the ingredients. Why? Because the logo looks like Canvas Beauty? Let us know. Because we gonna, but like, I don't understand. I don't. And Tisha told the girls to take a break because you have to make it fun for them. Yeah, but this isn't fun. It's business. I understand you trying to teach your daughters how to have a business while they're young, but you're going to have to be a little bit softer. You're going to have the more softer approach than just being so hard. I wonder, do you give your son the same energy, or it's just the girls? I want to know. Because it's just like, you're going to have to stop that. Like, it has to be fun for them, because kids don't want to do nothing serious. You got to make it fun. If you don't want to make it fun, they're not going to be serious later on. Like, oh, he gets on my damn nerves. Because then when it came down to Macy wanting a return on her investment, like where the money come, he says it's not all about the money. It's about making sure the business is good. Coming from somebody who don't pay attention to how the business should be ran, and it's only focused on the money. So that's all you think about. You don't see how business is supposed to be done and organized and created and ran. You look at the money. So shush. Then we bring up the expo and how the conversation was negative. He took it as a positive and he wants it to learn and grow. But the whole part of not taking accountability is you acknowledging that the expo was planned unorganized. It was planned bad from the beginning. You didn't have a full plan of how the expo came. You didn't plan to communicate how there were going to be a fee. There was no food. The event space was small. You had too many vendors. Like, just keep it a bug. Like, y'all don't ever take accountability for anything that y'all did wrong, but you want to place that same want on other people. Like, you convinced me with that. And then he's talking about how Stormy set the tone when she didn't want to hug him. And I'm like, no, you set the tone when you decided to be disrespectful and ask her about that $100. And you also told Courtney that I'm going to need an apology. Fuck out of here. And basically, I want everyone to know from the beginning on how everything came about. So you can miss me with that. Because Marsau never believes he does anything wrong. He thinks everything has been done wrong to him. So then we get to the conversation of him being called a bitch. And he said he didn't want to give Stormy the energy, but he ended up did. And then we see a flashback of Stormy and Tisha having a conversation about being called a bitch. But I wish they would have shown the actual scene. I don't want flashbacks. I don't. So Stormy said, you didn't like that I called him a bitch? She said, no, I did not. The fact that Stormy keeps repeating that Marsau is a bitch, and Tisha still don't stop her and say, look, stop calling my husband a bitch. I told you once, I'm going to tell you twice. Stop doing that. Stop. So she said, would you like me not to do it again? She said, I would. So she's going to work hard on not trying to call him a bitch. I said, Stormy, let it go. Then Storm brings up her whole dynamic of how her and her family shit talk one another, and that she has been very rambunctious in her wording, and that she's been called a bitch since she was 4, which is not cute. So she's used to that interaction, but you're used to it, not everybody else. You're going to have to reel that back in and understand that everybody doesn't come from the same background as you or had that same interaction with their family as you. You're going to have to understand that part. Then she also talked about how she is likely to get over stuff easily, showing whole grudges. I'm like, I don't believe you, because I think you're still holding a grudge with how you are with Melody, which I don't understand. And now you're holding a grudge against Marsau over something that is extremely small. You've had multiple conversations. I think you just need to let it go because it's dead at this point. So I will give Marsau a point by him saying her calling me a bitch in a business meeting was not good, which I can agree, because there have been multiple times that Stormy has not read the energy in the room, not read the theme of the room, and went completely left. So I hear you. But when it came down to the whole thing about gender, because he said he's never mentioned a woman's gender. He's never said that a woman doesn't belong here. A woman can't be a CEO. He's never held a woman back. I said, you're a fucking lie, Marsau, because when Courtney wanted you to shut up and let Tisha talk, you came out the gate and said we don't have gender roles, which is a crock of bullshit. You do look at gender roles, because you just said the same thing to Courtney, how he's less of a man of being in the women's business after he checked you about being in women's business. Fuck out of here. Then you told Tiffany, I know you're not used to feeling valued. Fuck out of here. And you said you give advice on gender when it comes to relationships. I don't take your advice on relationships. And you do look at gender when it comes to where a woman's role is. You carry a lot of misogynistic, narcissistic traits of how you think women should be. You only want to view Melody as e-commerce, as if you don't know she has other business acumen. She knows how to sell. She knows how to speak. She knows how to give advice. But you want to diminish her only selling hair care products or only selling t-shirts. She can't give advice in another field, which is a crock of bullshit. You also said to Chris, you said to Nail, I just assumed that you were just his pretty wife, which is a crock of bullshit. Like, you can fucking miss me with that. You didn't want Tisha to hang out with Melody to network and connect. You said we're not going to be this power couple. We're not going to do this and do that. Like, you look for any reason to be negative of Tisha having any type of friends who are in a better standing business-wise and can be better confidently. Like, you don't want that for her. And then you do limit on how women can give advice on things, because you can't take advice from a woman. You could barely take advice from a man, but you really don't want to take advice from a woman, because you don't like that, because they have way more knowledge of running a business than you do. Like, get the fuck out of here. I really cannot. Then can you calm him down if he gets a little sassy, which she needs to let go of saying that, but it's the truth. And she said, yeah, I'm a real man, but I feel like, Tisha, you never ruled him in on anything that he said. You can never do. So it's like beating a dead horse. She can never calm him down with anything. I do believe that Tisha don't want to really check Stormy by calling her husband a bitch, because she's scared of Stormy, and also that she wants to still use Stormy. So that point. And she's trying to have him understand you can't keep on going left in situations. He said he'll do it again, and that he doesn't think he did anything wrong. Avoid accountability. He never thinks that he does anything wrong. Look at all the past disagreements, all the past arguments, how he throws jabs, act like he don't throw jabs, and when he gets called out, he acts like he don't know what's going on. Fine. So try to find him a way to listen. He said he don't care that she has issues with Stormy because he doesn't value that relationship. There it is again. Melody's point proven. You don't want Tisha to rub elbows with anybody that is confident, that can stand on her own 2 feet, because you want her to only listen to you. You don't want her to have a community. You don't want her to have outside help or have a sisterhood or have anything that she can have a good relationship with. You don't want her to have that. You don't. And it's funny how you didn't value Stormy. You don't value Stormy now, but you valued her platform. You valued her business coming to the expo because you gave so much credibility to how she has been in business for a long time to counteract how Melody hasn't been in business for a long time. But now you don't value her at all. Okay, fine. I'm done. I'm skipping Kimmy and her conversation with her friend Angela. It's the same thing. She's trying to get her buyer to want to have sex with Marsau. It's not working. She's in fear of her husband cheating on her. She's trying to come up with different ways of having all these sex toys that don't work. Her friend bought her a vibrating yoni egg or something. And this is like, I'm done. Now maybe do sex therapy. I'm done. I can't. because it's getting annoying, really annoying that we keep on having the same conversation over and over again. Why don't we see Kimmy struggle of how she was during her radiation, how it was when she was in chemo, how it was, like, we didn't see the journey. We saw after that. The main thing that covered the journey was the lack of sex, her faking it. Oh my God, I'm annoying. I'm done. Moving on. Tisha, they're Black, filming a commercial to promote a casino night called Bet on Black that ended up getting canceled. And she has her manager, who also owns a production studio with her husband, and they are talking about how working as a duo and working with a couple who works together makes a dream work. It just gives off the energy that in the beginning Marsau said he didn't want to be this power couple with the three kids and a dog, but you got the 3 kids and no dog. And y'all are really trying to showcase that since Mel and Martell wanted to come on the show, being this power couple, their marriage failed, their whole power couple dynamic failed. Let us come in and show y'all how to be this picture perfect power couple, which is not the truth. You guys are not perfect. You guys have issues that you guys don't address, and you guys are fake. Like, that's a bunch of BS to me. You know what I'm saying? So Tisha's trying to look sexy. She did look sexy in another post, but Marsau wanted to criticize her and say, don't lean like that. Flirt with me. Well, don't flirt with me like a housewife. They don't really touch me. And this is like, ew. Like the way that he said, don't lean like a housewife, lean like a single woman. Don't know what that means. I need you to explain to me how a single woman leans, Marsau, because you probably have experience in that aspect, right? And just the whole nitpicking and criticizing her and controlling her, how she should act. She laughs because she's nervous and she's feeling embarrassed. How she don't know how to flirt, and being sexy not her love language. It's not a love language to be sexy, Tisha. It's a part of who you are, your empowerment. You have it in you of knowing you fine, knowing you sexy, and can't nobody tell you different. If Marsau is saying I wasn't right, she said, yes, it was. Let me see for myself. Like, come back with him on that. Let him know. You don't know me. You know my body. I know how I look, and I look good. Like, do that. But Marsau loves diminishing Tisha. He loves diminishing her confidence. He really does. That's why she doesn't feel like she's beautiful. She has all of this self-doubt and insecurities about herself that he don't even try to, like, bring her out of it. It's really annoying and it's distasteful. So this was supposed to be to raise funds for their foundation. They have an MLS foundation, a lot of organizations that we don't really see a lot of promotion of, but it's supposed to be about having a foundation for family in need. All the proceeds and funds that they have from other business will go towards the organization for giving a family in need a home or renovating a home. But it's kind of like, where is y'all home in all of this? And they had a fund me. They had, you know, an information that's supposed to reach a goal that they had, but they didn't even reach that goal. They got less than, I think, $300. I heard that $100 came from Contessa, and then they took it down. So it's kind of like, are these organizations a front? Are they a scam to bring in money for y'all so y'all can live off of? Because I don't see any home that you guys have built for a family in need like y'all had in the beginning. So where are these family in need? And as far as, and that's why I say it feels like a scam. Like you're trying to take the proceeds for yourself. And I did find out from other YouTubers that the event got canceled. Either because y'all didn't raise the money. And I think I also heard that you guys carry a high price at Black for these funds to come in. I heard that you guys have $900 tables, $600 tables. And when it came down to the casino night, y'all had $1,500 tables and 5,000 sponsorships. I said, who the hell got that kind of money? And when you guys said we need to find the who's of Huntsville, who do y'all know? Huntsville is nothing but that big. And the fact that y'all wanted to just take in one take, it took 15 takes because you were fucking up, Tisha was fucking up. It was annoying, cringe-worthy to see Tisha try to read the cue card that was, ooh, like chalking. You're like, oh, nails on the chalkboard, just annoying. And it was just boring to watch. Like, y'all really don't have nothing to talk about. Because why is it every time y'all bring up an event, it ends up getting canceled? Every time y'all bring up something goes wrong, it's over. Fine. So then we get to Martell. Martell is still squatting in the house that he shouldn't be in. Marsau wanted to pop by to see what else Martell heard because he believes that Chris embellished what was said. No, Marsau, nobody embellished what you said. What you said is what you said, and when you get called out, you try to flip it and add something else that doesn't match to what they were talking about. So, Marsau, stop lying when you say that they embellished. Stop saying that. And then you want to call Chris messy. I don't believe he was messy. Okay? So, Martell said, I heard that you didn't believe that she was professional enough to speak, which was funny because you know how much she was an impact to the community. And like I said before, Marsau's reasoning changed every time. First, he didn't think she was professional enough. Then, he believes that because she's on the platform, aka the reality show, that she's going to give the people false hope on having to create their business, believing that their business is going to sell because they're not on a platform like reality TV. Then, he also said that maybe she wouldn't have been able to talk about her failures. Make it make sense. Which one is it? Because I didn't even like the fact that you wanted to say it's because of they're not on number one reality show that she couldn't give advice. Do you not know how exposure works? Yes, being on reality TV can give you huge exposure, but it's also social media. And let me give you one perfect example of how being on a reality TV show did not give you the exposure and success that you thought it would have. Sheree Whitfield, the creator of Shein by She by Shein. She has been on RHOA since the beginning. Been fired, been brought back, been fired, been brought back, and she still has not achieved anything than being on reality TV. She finally drops her line. It's too expensive. The website is dumb. She doesn't have anything else going on for herself besides the show. So you can't use being on reality TV gives you a leg up to how you have success if you don't expose yourself, if you don't market yourself, if you don't brand yourself. Being on reality TV is not the end all be all of having a successful business. Having a social media presence does. Having a good media plan, having a good marketing expertise, having a good branding, all of that takes part, not just reality TV. So you're thinking very small with believing because you're on reality TV that just gives you a guarantee you're going to be successful. No, it don't. This Kimmy Blood, you couldn't afford her to speak and you got mad that she didn't want to speak for free. Please. So Chris calls Martell so he can put the sign up because it's about to be for sale. He thought it was sold. The first owner sold it, but then I think the sale must have fell through because he wanted to explain, but Martell cut him off because we know that Martell should not have been in that damn house. I think since Martell stayed longer than he should, the buyers must have pulled out, which means Chris had to put the house back on the market, but it still doesn't leave Martell a space to live there anymore. You need to find some place to live. And Martell is definitely using his friendship with Chris to still squat in that damn house. And I don't know what he's thinking when he says, as long as I stay here and pay what I gotta pay for, I'm not going nowhere until he finds me a place to live. Nigga, no. I thought you got a house. Why can't you live there? You cannot stay in a spot that you don't have authority to stay. You're pretty much trespassing at this point. You don't keep paying for, you're overpaying at this point for a place you don't have the ability to live in. Get the fuck out. Like, either you need to move into the house or the house isn't ready to live. Either go buy a U-Haul truck, put all your shit in there, and rent out a hotel. Get the fuck out the house, please. Like, this is so unnecessary. Like, you are a grown-ass man. You said you got all this going on, but the one thing that you still don't have is sense. Like, get the fuck out of the house. How hard is that? Oh, my God. So, when Chris came in, and Marsau said that Chris laughed and he misconstrued everything. He said, we misconstrued everything? We laughed? No. What they laughed at, Marsau, is the fact that you want to now say that you believe that the Holtz don't have anything to offer. And I'm sorry, I keep on saying the Holtz. That you don't believe that Melody and Martell have anything to offer, as if you were not a part of their business. Like, you don't believe that they have anything going on. Martell, no. But Mel, yes. Like, you're not going to shade them into believing that they don't have nothing going on. Like, they don't have a reason to speak. They don't have a reason to give advice. They don't have none of that. Like, you're going to have to miss me. So when Chris said, we asked you why they didn't speak or why Melody didn't speak, you said it's because you don't believe that she was professional enough. So when Marsau said, solid. So no one misconstrued anything, Marsau. No one lied on you. No one said anything different than what you said. So with the fact that he got called out for what he said, he has no choice but to say, yeah, I said it. So who the fuck is misconstruing everything? I'm confused. So that's when Martell went off and say, You gotta come better with that, because that's some BS, okay? Because then he mentions the failures. He didn't believe that y'all would mention any failures. Why wouldn't you believe that? Because that wasn't even mentioned. And it wasn't. When it came down to the comeback group, you never talked about the goal of why you want them on stage. You didn't say, I want us to talk about the ins and outs of business, even talk about our failures and success. Like, I want us to let them know we have stories to tell. But you never said that. You never said that. You did not explain what you want them to talk about. So because you didn't explain that, you think you have the authority to let them know you don't believe they can speak? Do you believe you can speak? You didn't even know what venture capital was. So you don't have the authority on what lane you know, because you don't know. Like, get out of here with that. And the whole thing about, speaking of failures, yes, Martell was bold and say, well, me and Mel didn't have any failures. We were very successful. Sorry. But the fact that we were able to say it doesn't mean we still don't have anything else to offer. Like, you don't have the authority to say that. So you're just talking just to talk. You're on some bullshit right now. And then, if I can remember correctly, that when it came down to talking about failures, Marsau said, I would have gladly mentioned my bankruptcy. He said, no, you wouldn't have. Martell said, you didn't mention nothing about your bankruptcy until I mentioned my bankruptcy. And Martell said, excuse me, filing for bankrupt was enough of a failure for me to talk about, which I agree. Marsau, you don't mention anything negative about what's going on in your life. You don't mention nothing. Just like how when Melody said, if I didn't want to be a part of the expo because you guys got a lawsuit against you, you said you would have respected it. I disagree. You would not have respected it. You would have thought about everything negative because of what was said. Just like how at the reunion, when it was mentioned, nothing else was said. You mentioned a lawsuit, it got shut down. You don't dive into what else you have going on. You don't dive into what's going on that's bad, negative, that it's affecting you. You don't mention it. You don't mention nothing at all. So it's a crock of bullshit. I agree. And then it gets to this whole back and forth of Martell letting Marsau, I've helped you out more ways than one. But Marsau wants to remove the goalpost of not mentioning or not agreeing that Martell and Mel did help him out when he was in a tough spot. Marsau wanted to turn it around with, I helped you the most. Don't forget how much I helped you. There was supposed to be a clip that they showed in the trailer that Martell supposedly borrowed $3,700 from Marsau, but they didn't air it. I wonder if that was when he said, you asked for money, you paid it back. But he said, I never asked you for money unless it was for a job. Other than that, I didn't never ask you for any money. But Marsau wants to give subtle hints that, yes, I did offer you money. And that to me read off as you're trying to out him out for asking you for money for him to cheat. That's what you're trying to do. Because you tell it in the confessional, Martell might want to be quiet about what I know and what I have done for him that I didn't even tell Tisha about. But I feel like the fact you're saying on camera, you might as well say it all the way out. But I feel like it can come back on your ass as to why you don't want to say nothing at all. So when Marsau want to change the narrative or change the story about how much he helped Martell cheat, how much he might have given money to Coleslaw on the account of Martell and this, and that, a third, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about business. We're talking about how I helped you with your business. You bringing up how you helped me cheat is not what we're talking about. But Marsau doesn't want to admit that part. He wants to place Martell in a state of having him stutter, having him lie that he don't remember that, he don't remember that. And this is like, wow. Because that's where I was like back and forth watching that entire conversation. I said, Martell got a point with this, but Marsau got a point with this. Because I believe both. I do believe that Marsau helped Martell with finances when it came down to buying stuff for Coleslaw. I believe that. But I also believe that Martell did give Marsau money when he needed it. Especially when it came down to the business. Martell said he put more money in scope because Marsau didn't have it. But then Marsau wants to turn around and act like the way that Martell helped him, he didn't look at it as a gift. Or as far as like when it came down to you saying it, it's just kind of like you want automatic, like guarantee you want automatic praise. But I don't believe that Martell wanted constant praise. I just think he wants you to keep it a buck and admit how he helped you. That's the whole thing. And why wouldn't it be a gift? Martell said, I didn't have to. I didn't have to start a business with you. I didn't have to help you with your family. I want to because you're my friend. Like, that's what friends do. I helped you. But for some odd reason, you don't want to understand that, but you want to throw it back in his face on how you helped him cheat. I don't understand that, Marsau. I really don't. So about who gave who the most, and then Chris cut them off and say, y'all not going nowhere. Y'all can go back and forth all day. So at that point, Martell has no choice but to move forward with Marsau because he don't have nobody else. Had he just stayed cool with Mel, not let everybody go after her when he wasn't, getting what he wants, and now he's on the island by himself. He ain't got no choice but to, keep up with the pretense of being cool with Marsau. But I also think because Martell got dirt on Martell and Marsau and Maurice. He got their secrets. And I believe that Marsau knows secret about Martell too. So they both have to swallow their pride to benefit each other for what they know. They both have to, because I don't see how y'all can still be friends. There have been multiple times y'all have had the same arguments over and over again, and yet y'all can still move forward. That don't make no sense. But either way, that wasn't it, because it ended off with Kiki and Melody. Melody wanted to see Kiki because she hadn't seen her in a while. Kiki is feeling better. She did go to the doctor, but they ran more tests before they can tell her what's going on. And she's just like, I'm feeling good. So that's when Melody wanted to know how her relationship with her and Tisha. She said, I thought we were cool. Because it ended off with, I don't know where we stand anymore, because there's been so much going on. And now she found out that Marsau and 2 other ladies that they bleeped out the names had an affair, a threesome. And that's where it ended off. And I'm going to get into this past weekend episode of how more got said. And y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.